Imagine this, Thomas. You finally hit that big financial goal. The bank account's brimming, the champagne's chilling, and you're ready for that wave of pure, unadulterated bliss to wash over you. But then, it doesn't. Or maybe it's just a ripple. Why does more money often not equal more happiness? It's a question that keeps a lot of people up at night, isn't it?
Walter, that's exactly where the behavioral finance insights really hit home. We're conditioned to think it's a linear path, more zeros in the account, more smiles on the face. But the research, especially from sources like the psychology of money and happiness by design, paints a much more nuanced picture. It's like chasing a mirage.
A mirage. I love that. So welcome back, everyone, to Money and Power, What They Don't Teach You, part of the Ink and Argument podcast. I'm your host, Walter, and with me today is the brilliant Thomas, diving deep into why money alone won't make you happy. Before we jump further into this fascinating topic, remember to hit that like button and follow us for more. And hey, if you've got a burning financial question or a unique perspective, slide into our DMs on Instagram. You could be our next guest. Now, Thomas, you mentioned this mirage. Where do people usually get lost on this path to financial bliss?
They often get lost right at the beginning, Walter, with the fundamental assumption we equate money with comfort, which it absolutely provides, but we then incorrectly extrapolate that comfort directly equates to happiness. And here's the kicker. Studies repeatedly show that happiness does rise with income, but only up to a certain point. It's not an infinite curve.
Wait, so there's a happiness ceiling? Like, I can earn another million, but my emotional well-being just shrugs and says, I'm good.
Essentially, beyond that specific income threshold, your emotional well-being doesn't significantly increase with more money. Instead, it starts depending on completely different factors. Things like the quality of your relationships, finding a true sense of purpose, and perhaps most importantly, having freedom over your time.
Freedom over your time? Now that sounds luxurious. Not just being able to afford luxury, but actual freedom. So it's less about the bigger house and more about not having to go to work on a Tuesday if you don't feel like it.
Exactly. Morgan Housel, a fantastic writer on this topic, puts it beautifully. He says, "Wealth is what you don't see." Think about that for a second. It's not the fancy car in the driveway or the designer clothes. Those are expenses. Those are money being spent. True wealth, according to Housel, is having control over your time. It's the optionality.
Wealth is what you don't see. That's so counterintuitive to everything we're shown in movies and on social media. It's all about the look at me purchases. So if I'm driving a perfectly functional, slightly dated car, but I can take 3 months off to travel without financial stress, that's wealthier than someone in a brand new sports car who's drowning in debt and works 80-hour weeks?
Precisely. The person with the older car and time freedom has a much higher degree of true wealth. They have the capacity to make choices. The sports car owner might be projecting an image of wealth, but in reality, they've traded their most precious non-renewable resource, time, for that display. It comes back to this idea that spending doesn't equal happiness. Often it's quite the opposite.
So those big, shiny purchases, they're often just a temporary dopamine hit, not lasting satisfaction. And then what happens? We just buy something else, right? It's like an addiction.
You nailed it, Walter. That's the insidious trap of lifestyle inflation. As our income rises, our spending often scales up right alongside it, sometimes even faster. That bigger house needs more furniture. The new car requires more expensive maintenance. Suddenly, that raise you got feels like it's barely covering the new minimums of your upgraded life. It's a relentless treadmill.
I've definitely seen that. Someone gets a promotion, and the first thing they do is upgrade their apartment, then their car lease, then their daily coffee habit, and within 6 months, they're complaining about being broke again, just at a higher income bracket. It's a comedy of errors, really.
A very common travesty, unfortunately.
Behavioral economics helps us understand why this happens. Humans adapt incredibly quickly to new circumstances, even positive ones. You get used to that higher income, that bigger apartment, that fancy coffee. What once felt like a luxury quickly becomes the new normal. And then your expectations rise again. So your satisfaction with the new level of spending never quite catches up to your rising expectations.
The hedonic treadmill, always lurking in the shadows. So you get the new thing, you're happy for a bit, then your baseline moves up, and you need something even newer to feel that same level of happiness. It's an exhausting race.
Exactly. And this is why we see so many high-income individuals, people who, on paper, have achieved financial success, still feeling immense stress, constant pressure, and a profound lack of fulfillment. They've fallen into the trap of trading all their time, all their energy for more money, only to realize they've lost control over their actual lifestyle in the process.
It's the golden handcuffs syndrome, isn't it? You're earning enough to live a comfortable life, but your job owns you. Your calendar isn't yours. Your evenings aren't yours. Your weekends are often spent recovering just enough to do it all again. It's a kind of slavery, just with a much nicer paycheck.
It's a subtle form of it, and it's pervasive. They might be able to afford the best of everything, but they don't have the time to enjoy it, or they're too mentally exhausted to. The irony is that the money they worked so hard for ends up controlling them, instead of the other way around. Freedom, not luxury, is what truly matters for long-term satisfaction.
So we're saying money is important. We're not saying live under a bridge and be happy, but it's about seeing money for what it truly is. A tool, a very powerful tool, but still just a tool.
That's the core message. Money is fantastic for providing security, for opening doors, for giving you options. It increases your comfort and removes certain stressors, but it is not in itself the goal. The goal should always be what money can enable, and for most people, what it truly enables is time freedom, mental peace, and the ability to live a meaningful life rooted in their values and relationships.
Time freedom, mental peace, a meaningful life. Those are the real treasures. Not the balance in the bank account, but what that balance allows you to do and be. That's a perspective shift that changes everything. Thomas, this has been an incredibly enlightening discussion, and frankly, a bit of a reality check.
My pleasure, Walter. It's always a good exercise to step back and question our fundamental assumptions, especially when it comes to something as powerful and pervasive as money.
Absolutely. This idea, originally explored in works like The Psychology of Money and Happiness by Design, should make us all rethink our financial pursuits. If this conversation resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. That wraps up another episode of Money and Power, What They Don't Teach You from the Ink and Argument podcast. We've been discussing why money alone won't make you happy, a critical behavioral finance insight. Join us every Saturday, Monday, and Thursday at midnight London time for more. Translations are available in Norwegian, French, and German. See you next time.